Welcome to The Cards Made Me Do It, your gateway to the mystical realm of cardology. I'm Ayafa, here to explore how this esoteric science intertwines astrology, numerology, and the wisdom of the cards. Join me as we navigate life's mysteries through the lens of lunar cycles and celestial energies, unlocking insights that guide our path. Alafia, and welcome back to The Cards Made Me Do It. I am your host, Ayafa, aka Queen Daddy Saturn, and I'm here for the collective poll for the Nine of Diamonds full moon on April the 12th. And so this is for the working with the energetics of this full moon. Later on this week, I'll be posting a ritual that you can check out via my blog on queendaddysaturn.com. And this is just to help you, help you get more in line with the energetics that surrounds your everyday life. So, what you'll do is you'll pick a pile based off of your sun card or your birth card. And if you don't know that, just pick whatever suit calls out to you. Just a reminder that this reading is for the collective, although it is by suit. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you're ready to go deeper or want something more personal, readings are always open at queendaddysaturn.com. You can also reach out directly at ayafa at queendaddysaturn.com. We'll be using the regular deck of cards and 2 oracle decks for today's reading. And those decks are The Magic of Flowers by Tess Whitehurst and the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck by Adriana Ayales or Ailes. And the questions for the spread are: what truth or insight is this Libra full moon illuminating for me right now? Number 2 is: what values need to be reviewed or reassessed to restore or maintain harmony in my life? Number 3 is: what karmic cycle or relationship pattern is ready to be released during this full moon? Number 4 is: what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated? Number 5 is: where should I focus my resources? And that could be time, money, or energy to make wiser investments for my future. And number 6 is: how can I more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? And I will preface you, the Oracle decks, I'm going to try to give y'all what I feel intuitively, but I don't know everything about everything. So I will read from the books at the end of the poll to gather the insights from those. Let's get ready. All right, this first one is for the Hearts Collective. If you can see any imperfections on this table, not that it really matters. Acetone is a beast. I am a nail tech full time, so just excuse it, but it has nothing to do with the message. So the first question is: what truth or insight is this Libra full moon illuminating for the Hearts Collective right now? I use the pop out method, and I pray that they only pop out one card. So we're going to pray on that. What do the hearts need to illuminate right now? And that one didn't count because it didn't pop out. What do they need to know? And the reason, although this method can be time consuming, almost doesn't count. I am a Virgo sun and a South Node. There we go. South Node Virgo as well. And so I'm trying to least overthinking and imperfection. So this is illuminating for you. I don't know if you can see that. Try to put that in the camera for you. This is illuminating for you the Five of Hearts, which is known as the fickle heart or the restless heart. And it can be really unstable. So it might be, really illuminating for you where you're a bit restless right now and you need to possibly find some grounding for yourself. So I write on my cards. It helps to trigger things for me. And it's also a good learning method. So do what works for you, man. The next one is about harmonizing values. Which values need to be revealed or reassessed to restore or maintain harmony in the heart's collective lives? If I burp, I'm sorry, releasing some energy that tends to come through me when I do these things. Thank you so much for any message that comes through. So like I was saying, I'm releasing imperfection. So therefore I tend to like pop out. You see me straightening these cards, and I'm going to give myself grace on that. But this is why I tend to do the readings and just release the stuff. Okay. That's the Nine of Hearts energy, which we're actually in the Nine of Hearts this year. And the Nine of Hearts is semi-fixed. It switches places with the Seven of Diamonds every couple of years or so. And so what's harmonizing is possibly some disappointment or fulfillment. When it comes to love, it might be a bit of grief. Bit about me, I'm going through a grieving period right now. The Nine of Hearts is also personally pushing me forward this year. So maybe some form of grief. Grief doesn't only have to do with death. Grief could be a multitude of things. A lot of the times when we're grieving, or what's coming up is also depression. And one of the best quotes, not saying it's a cure-all for everything, one of the best quotes I ever got from someone about depression, they said to me, depression can be when you're living too far back or too much in the past, and anxiety can be when you're jumping too far ahead in the future. You should definitely live for now. And so that's what comes to mind when I see that. Your next question is going to be, what karmic cycle or relationship pattern is ready to be released during this full moon? And you got cacao, which is really dope. Cacao, I've actually been to the Dominican Republic, and I'm sorry, I'm skipping far ahead. I lied. Karmic cycle or relationship pattern ready to be released during this full moon is has to do with new business ventures and a desire for money. Has to do with money, ambition. Oof. So you probably have new money patterns coming in. So, and I spoke a little bit about that. If you didn't catch that episode earlier in the week, you should go back and listen to it about the energetics. It's a lot of values and stuff being reworked. So seems like you're kind of in alignment. But the Ace of Diamonds is all about the desire for money, wealth, and you have to be, you had that Five of Hearts, which is this restless heart, and this Ace of Diamonds. Any aces could really be about recklessness because they're so new. They're considered the babies and whatnot. So you just definitely want to release any recklessness in order to fully ground into where you're trying to go for any goals. I don't even want to just make it about money, but it might really, a lot money is on everybody's mind, especially if you live in the US right now. So you want to release any type of impatience or unstable energies and actions and make room for something new. Learn how to transmute that. Okay. So the next question, which I started jumping ahead on, was what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated? And you got this really beautiful card. I want to show you that. Hope you can see that pretty good. And I am showing the cards for those of you on YouTube, but this again is going to probably be posted on the Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts pages as well if you're just listening in, which is why it's important for me to read from the book. But on this, it already tells me about, well, Cal says initiation. It's number 38, which draws down to the master number 11, which things can come in slow with them. I know because I live with one. And everything that you're going through seems to be taken through you through some form of initiation, which tends to come up when we are trying to bring in new things. It's like a testing ground of, are you really ready for this? Are you saying that you're ready for this? It's you having to prove whether or not you've done the actual work and cleared the space in order to bring in what it is you're asking for. And so the next one is going to be, where should I focus my resources, time, money, and energy in order to make wiser investments for my future? And you actually got the Eight of Clubs, which is a fixed card. And that card has to do with mind over matter. So it's definitely about, I don't want you to necessarily fixate, but it's about focus. You're going to want to focus, and you're going to want to, I would say, not have too many people in your matter, your business. That's what I would say. And it's funny because it actually transforms to this Nine of Hearts you got over here. What else is coming up? Basically a focus. I mean, how should you focus your resource, time, and money? Keep people out of your business, bogged down. You might need to make a plan. You might need to make a plan. You might want to get an advisor. That's the only person that I would probably be telling my business to, because it seems like you probably need to just bog down and like really get focused on some stuff, because the energy is definitely calling for grounding. Yeah, it's calling for grounding and focus so that you can get done what needs to be done, because you're trying to bring this new stuff in, this new monetary stuff, possibly a new baby, because the karma card for the Ace of Diamonds is also Ace of Hearts. I'm sorry. And then I see even the crowning of this heart on this cow, which is really beautiful. And then I see an ancestor. That's dope. I'm seeing stuff now. And then you even see this ancestor in the background who might be trying to come through. So yeah, you got to ground yourself if that's what you're trying to do. But either way, your ancestors are trying to help you. Oh, this is a message for me. Your ancestors are trying to help you usher in the newness, especially with this grief card. If you've had any that have passed, my grandmother recently passed. um yeah, and I can definitely see that. And then I've known this, but I will definitely quote Aquarius when she brought it up in class one time. And she said that your ancestors, when they cross over to the other side, they definitely help to move stuff out of your way in order to make room for what it is you're supposed to make room for. Oh, and don't this look like a baby? Hold on. That looked like a fetus, y'all. Hold on. But it's like she has the world in her hands. So the last one that you got for the magic of flowers, I'm sorry. Um, I'm skipping ahead. I be skipping ahead so bad. I'm sorry. So I don't remember if I read the question. I'm gonna read the question. Is cultivating gratitude. How can I more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? And at a glance, I don't know what this is. It's called Datura. I love learning, so I learn about new stuff. Datura. And so she's holding this orb in her hands, and it's like she's cherishing it. Or she's just like the wonderment of what all is grown inside. It looks like a little fetus, but it also looks like the universe. And there's a universe inside of you. That's one of my favorite songs. That's not what it's called, but that's one of my favorite songs. But that's the song that's coming through. There's a universe inside of you. Yeah. So that's what I got from that. And so now we're going to actually open the books and see what these authors channeled while they were making these decks. So going back to our question of what is this? That what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated? And you got cacao, which is the basis of chocolate, even though most of the chocolate sold now isn't real chocolate, but I digress. And it's funny because the page that this is on is 110, which boils down to an 11 if you let it. But the next page is also 111. So because I don't necessarily read in reversals, I like to read all of the things that come up with this. And so let's say it's lighter energy speaks to initiation, dag. Yep. Initiation, a spiritual test, a revelation, access to the cosmic heart, divine love, light beings, channeling languages of light. If you've never worked with light language, I would tell you to seek out light language. All language is light language, but they all have different fractals of light. That's why you should definitely be careful what you speak and what you allow others to speak over you. So, in the reverse, it can mean broken wings, self distrust, lack of self love, and step out of your own way. So, that sounds like some good transmutation to me. Release that in order to bring in the good things. So, the shadow part of that. And the astrological ruler, I don't know if I said that, was Uranus and Venus. So, the guidance from this says Quetzal has flown into your cards today, symbolizing initiation. The sky gods are speaking and bathing your soul in liquid light as you traverse a series of spiritual tests. The Quetzal is considered one of the highest divine apparitions as it is associated to the god snake. The snake god, Quetzalcoatl. I pray to God I pronounced that right. The feathered serpent. Like cacao, both are considered precious heavenly gifts from the sky gods. These divine apparitions today are asking you to deeply tune into the cosmic heart and let it move you. Open yourself to receive the holy gifts provided and listen carefully to the light language pouring through them. Keep elevating your frequency rooted in unconditional love. Step out of your own way and allow your heart to blossom. Know that through this divine love, we experience the cosmic heart, the gateway to spirit. Ashe. And so then we move on to The Magic of Flowers by Tess Whitehurst. And that's for the question of how can I more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more. And that's this card. Again, it looks like she's holding a baby or an orb sitting in the night. Let me find it for us. That's page 99. Nines are all about graduation too. Excuse me. Okay, Datora says true motives. Datora's magical specialties are astral travel, concealment and invisibility, discernment, divination, enchantment, and magical power. Datora counsels you to look beyond the surface and into the depths to see what lies beneath. Sometimes we conceal our own motives, even from ourselves. Are you being honest with yourself about your intentions and desires? Is there something that you will benefit from finally admitting to yourself and others? Relax, look deeply, and allow divine clarity to dissolve all murkiness and cut through secrets and illusions like a laser. You'll know you have connected with the truth when you experience an energizing sense of relief. Similarly, the time may be right to look more deeply into the motivations of others. Be assured that when you align with universal energies, you have nothing to fear. With this in mind, stay grounded in your awareness of your perfect protection. Visualize a shield of white, blue, indigo, or violet light around yourself and call on the divine before considering whether or not everyone is being forthright and transparent in the situation. Perhaps there is some good question or feeling that even now your intuition is nudging you to acknowledge and investigate. It certainly seems that something is not as it appears. Notice that the woman on this card is cool, collected, equanimous, neutrally surveying the deep inner workings of the issue at hand with the calm assurance that she will not fail to learn the truth. When you remember that you have friends in high places, your guides, angels, and all that is, you can approach this situation with the same success drawing attitude as she does. Following ideas and messages may apply to your present situation. Notice the any that particularly call out to you as you read. And so it says, look more deeply into the situation to find the hidden truth. Be honest about your true motives. Do not take this situation at face value. There is more to it than you can presently realize. Make sure that you implicitly trust everyone involved in this situation. Now is not the time for giving anyone the benefit of the doubt. There may be secrets involved here that bear investigation. Call on the divine to bestow the light of clarity and truth. Tread carefully. Only take steps you are certain will fall on solid ground. Approach the situation with calm neutrality and self assurance, knowing that with the divine backing, you will certainly succeed. And spend time with Datura or take the very responsibly and safe prepared homeopathic flower essence remedy. Yeah, some of these flowers I would do some research on, to see if how best to work with them. If you actually want to work with them, it's many different ways to work with flowers. You can even work with the energetics of the actual picture of the flower and just meditate with it. You don't always need to have the physical thing with you. So with that, my heart's collective, your reading is complete. I hope you gained something. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Peace. All right, so this next one is for the Clubs Collective, and the song I'm hearing right now is Hot Boys. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I don't know if you know Missy Elliott in her main heyday, because she still be rocking. Used to give us that Hot Boys, baby, you got what I want, what I want. So I might have to bump that in the car later. So the first question we're getting to for the Clubs Collective is, what truth or insight is this Libra full moon illuminating for me right now? And you got the Seven of Diamonds, which is spiritual values over material. And it's a semi-fixed card. It actually swaps places with the card of the year, the Nine of the Hearts, every once in a while. And it transforms into a fixed card, the Eight of Clubs. So that's interesting. So it's highlighting that for you. Poverty, wealth, mindset, family issues or matters, financial challenges, I feel like are coming up for everybody because of the climate we're in with the world, not just the US, but especially the US with the world. And so the next one is, what values need to be revealed or reassessed to restore or maintain harmony in my life? And if I didn't talk to you about this, I use the pop out method. I think I mentioned this to the Hearts Collective. I use the pop out method because I like to truly receive message from spirit and not try to overthink about stuff. And so I'm on this emotional roller coaster. You got the Five of Diamonds for that one. Which is one of our karma cards for the Nine of Diamonds. So yeah, it could have to do with emotional roller coasters. It could have to do with financial roller coasters. But something needs to be reassessed there. It could call for changes in the job, changes at home. Like, for example, myself, I sit with spirit regularly, and one of the things that I have to bring for my home is actually structure, more structure. I'm definitely a free spirit, but I have children to raise. Children can't be raised all the time on free spiritedness. It just doesn't work well. They need a schedule, they need structure, they need a routine. So I'm being called personally to tighten it up. So that may speak to you, or something like that may speak to you. Everything is not super literal. I'm just giving you what is coming up. So your next question is, what karmic cycle or relationship pattern is ready to be released during this full moon? And you got the Eight of Hearts, and that is the card of power over people. That could be exerting your will over people. That's also the card of the playboy or the playgirl. So that speaks to me. I hope not, but be mindful of being very manipulative or action manipulative or bullying. Um, Seems like that could be ready to be released. And, you know, it is a collective reading. It may not resonate with everybody, but a lot of the times, if we bother to really sit with it and sit with our shadow selves, we can see where we're being a little bit not so nice with people. So you need to look at that. Oh, child. All right, the next one, I'm using the herbal astrology deck, and that's for this Chiron energy that's also up in the air, and that's what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated. And because these cards don't necessarily have the meanings, and some of these items I'm not necessarily all that familiar with, I will read from the book at the very end of the card pulls. And when I work with bigger decks like this, when they flip out, I pick whatever's on top. That is the agreement, spirit, and I have with these cards. And I just want to let them know I'm grateful for what's coming through. I'm grateful for divine clarity. And we can't pick the whole stack, y'all. So can y'all please give us a card for the Clubs Collective? I'll take that. Ooh, we got Paul de Arco, Metamorphosis, Transmutation. That's beautiful. Let's see if you can see that. That's really dope. Oh, shoot. I probably wasn't supposed to show her tatas, but that's not my fault. She's an earth mama, definitely. And so on here, I see the moon and Pluto and the menses being released. So definitely releasing, and in order to restore something new. Then it looks like her old self is down here on the ground, and she's grown. She's released what literally looks like a shadow self and sprouted into and bloomed into something beautiful and new. So that's really dope. So that's really dope for that one. The next question is, where should I focus my resources, which could be time, money, and or energy, to make wiser investments for my future? And that's definitely inspired by that Nine of Diamonds energy the most, but also it's karma cards, the Five of Diamonds and the Queen of Diamonds. So thank you so much for the messages revealed by Spirit. We are grateful. What wants to come through? I'm going to pick the one on top. Boop. I think everybody is getting the Nine of Hearts so far. At least the hearts did before another question. And so the Nine of Hearts is actually the year that we're in. And so I think you should focus on healing yourself. This is also a card of counselor, therapy, and a therapist. Maybe you need to be seeking that, especially if we're dealing with some issues of manipulation, or maybe you could be the one being manipulated. I personally used to have a problem with this, and therapy definitely helped me to get a lot of things and resolve where I'm like, now I probably go overboard of letting people know where they had me effed up, but hell, it is what it is. So maybe you need therapy, because it could also be the card of grief. It can be the card of divorce, but it could also be the card of creativity. So, and then we already have metamorphosis. So you want to work on, you might need to work with a coach or something, which, shameless plug, semi plug, because I haven't offered it yet. I will eventually be offering coaching services once spirits gives the okay on that. Right now, I have to focus on myself and my family and that structure. So, yeah, that'll come when it's meant to come. But there are so many great people out there. And if therapy is not your thing, or you felt like it hasn't worked for you, it probably only helped to heal a facet of you. I'm doing something called members work with, now I'm going to just shout her out, Ia Couture Monroe. And I know several EAs that actually offer this, and I know that they are taking new students. And what this helps you do is to recognize the very many facets of you, because sometimes therapy only really covers pieces of you and not the whole being. So I'll leave that there if that came through for somebody. If you need more information on that, you can definitely reach out to me at ayafa at queendaddysaturn.com. Okay, this is pretty. Okay, so for that last one, how can I more deeply honor or show my gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? And you got the clover, which she looks pretty dope. What's in her hand? Okay, so it's like she's giving by also receiving. So it's calling for a balance, in my opinion, about giving just as much as you receive. Um, So yeah, work on giving back, and it doesn't always have to be monetary. You can find some ways to volunteer. Like, this is part of me giving back because my schedule is so hectic. I actually want to volunteer at the senior center, but my schedule is so hectic. I have young children, I have a teenager, and my schedule doesn't always work the way that I be trying to make it work. So now we're going to read from the books. And going back to that question of what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated, we got Pau de Arco. And I like reading from the whole thing. If it's getting lengthy, just skip over it. But I like reading from the whole thing because I feel like reading the whole thing allows you to also pull in other messages for yourself. Because remember, I'm talking to a collective. So the light of this would be discovery through darkness, transcendence of the known, unearthing fear, nonconformity, and breaking cycles. And the reverse of this, or the shadow of it, will be ignorance, conventionality, fear of failure, resisting growth, and stuck in limiting beliefs. And like I said, this had the glyphs of the moon and Pluto on it. And so it says Paul de Arco, commonly known as Tahibo or Lapacho, is one of the most beautiful trees on earth. With over 100 varieties, this tree has been used medicinally among many tribal peoples throughout Central and South America. Most commonly, the inner lining of the bark was boiled for a long period of time, then consumed as a dark coffee-like tea. Pau de Arco has many medicinal qualities that fall under the moon and Pluto's dominion, such as being a blood tonic and a daily tonic for strength, and also being employed for digestive imbalances, menstrual irregularities, malaria, anemia, colds, flus, fungal infections, respiratory problems, arthritis, cancer, and a lot more. The Incas and other groups predating them were known to use pau de arco as panacea. I'm probably saying that wrong. Tribes living thousands of miles apart have employed it for the same medicinal purposes for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Many tribes use its wood to make hunting bows, utensils, and all sorts of tools. Being that it is provided great blessings of strength and resilience. I'm not going to read the rest of that. But what comes to mind is making lemon out of lemonade. I mean, making lemonade out of lemons. The metamorphosis, like I said, this great tree is used to make so much stuff. So how can you turn around whatever it is going on with you and use it to your advantage? It's always a way to turn something around. And so the guidance this actually gives is Lapacho is one of the great protectors of the sacred, and she is welcome you in. Archetypally, Paul de Arco embodies one of the faces of the dark goddess in her mighty splendor. The dark goddess is multifaceted, challenging belief systems, frailties, weaknesses, and testing our strength. Like Pluto, Lapacho demands you rebel against the ignorance of the old self and learn paradigms that inhibit the splendor of your self expression. Her mighty darkness provides the tools to rebuild ourselves anew, triggering instant metamorphosis. Don't fear the unknown nature of mystery. The cosmic womb, in its darkness, births all hidden potentials into existence. Trust and step in. You are being guided. And on that note, I'll leave you with that. Ashe. You will, yes, I'll leave that one there. So our final one is, how can I be more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? You got the Clover. And I appreciate so much that they did this book in alphabetical order. And so the Clover's magical specialties speak to abundance, beauty, gentle strength, health, and healing, protection, purification, and simplicity. And so, to me, that's speaking to be grateful for what you already have. I think you should probably stop and take note of all that you have and make a gratitude list, maybe journal about it, and actually write the things that you're grateful for. Realize where your blessings really are, even the things, and if you already are like this, even take stock of what things are really blessings that you didn't think were blessings. How is it a blessing in disguise? And so it says, consider a tiny white clover blossom in a vast meadow. She does not tower over the scene or even steal your attention with a bold shape or vivid color. Still, she trusts her inherent worthiness and beauty. And she knows without a doubt that she contains infinity within her every cell. Here's some advice. Proceed with gentleness and humility, all while knowing that your power source is infinite. If you follow the clover's example of gentle strength, it will be simply a matter of time before you experience favorable conditions relating to the subject of your inquiry. After taking a moment to relax and clear your mind, get very clear on what feels right to you, what you'd like to experience, and what you wouldn't like to experience. Then realize, believe, and affirm that your authentic desire is simply a picture of what is already so in place beyond time. From this grounded trust in the integrity of your desire, move forward. This may entail speaking up or staying silent, taking action or lying low. It will not entail hurrying, worrying, forcing the ego's agenda, or acting out of desperation anyway. The bottom line is that once you align yourself deeply with the harmonic resonance of your divine source, you will know just what to do. And so the following ideas and messages may apply to your present situation. And so it says, relax your belly and solar plexus and connect with your personal power. Do energy healing work related to your sacral and solar plexus chakras. Again, that speaks to that grief that you possibly need to let go of. Do yoga, walk, or engage in other gentle exercises regularly. Accept and love yourself exactly as you are. Calmly assert your boundaries. Speak your truth with love. And don't do anything that doesn't feel right for you. And right there, we will stop that one. I hope you found this insightful, Clubs Collective, and I will see you again next time. This is for the Diamonds Collective, and I use the pop out method. So sometimes we will be waiting for the right cards to come through. So here we go. First question is, what truth or insight is this Libra full moon illuminating for the Diamonds Collective right now? Lord of mercy. You got the Eight of Diamonds, which is the crown of success. So, okay. Truth and insight. It's illuminating the crown of success. Seems like it's within your reach. Okay. This could also be, well, just success is in your reach. I feel like that's straightforward. The next one is, what values need to be reviewed or reassessed to restore or maintain harmony in my life? So that's good to me. If you don't know, in the grand solar spreads, the Eight of Diamonds sits at the very top in the middle, which we call the crown. It is the crown. So it's excellent. Everybody wants to be at the top, right? Thank you so much for the messages that come through, Spirit. What values need to be reviewed or reassessed for the Diamonds Collective, please and thank you. Part of the reason I do this method is to release my perfection and overthinking, which I tend to do. Thank you. Okay. I'm going through changes. Seems like something needs to change. Y'all being vague as I don't know what. With all of this, let me just go ahead and pull that so I can just sit this deck down. Isn't this the card for walking? I feel like Five of Spades is the card for walking. Maybe you need to walk and go and get in touch with nature, because it is the card of traveling, most definitely an adventure. So, it's also the card for stalking. So if you stalking somebody, you definitely need to cut that foolishness out. Not all of those. Thank you. Just one. But you probably need to put some more walking in. I walk now. It's a great thing for me to think tank. Maybe I need to call it the think tank. So that's pretty dope. And so number 3, what karmic cycle or relationship pattern is ready to be released during this full moon? And you got the Two of Clubs, which is actually the conversationalist, or it has to do with communication. So I don't know if you're argumentative, which I do know a lot of diamonds. They do like to debate. Maybe Spirit is saying to bring that to a rest. And actually listen to people for a change, maybe so you can hear other people out, because a lot of the times, no matter who it is, you can get a lesson from something they're saying, or a lot of the time Spirit will use people, will speak to you through other people, and it could be the last person you could suspect. You could ask me how I know, but I ain't come here to hear about my entire life. So being more balanced in conversation, because 2s are all about balancing. All right, these bigger decks, I tend to, even if a pile drops, I just pick whatever lands on top. That's the agreement spirit and I have. I could move on to what else came up because I did finish picking. So we'll skip to question 5 because even with these oracle decks, I still read from the book at the end just in case there's some extra messages in there. So number 5 is, where should I focus my resources, time, and money and energy to make a wiser investment for my future? And you straight up got the insurance card, or the karmic settlement card, which I find interesting. Long story short, you need to be investing in your retirement. And what's coming to mind is I take a lot of business classes. I don't want to say serial entrepreneur, but yeah, I'm trying to find my footing, or not trying to find my footing. I have been in the nail industry for 20 years. That's retirement for me. So now, on top of using my spiritual gifts, I like for there to be a balance in earthly and spiritual things. So I'm also licensed in life insurance, but I'm going for another insurance license as well. And with that, the point I'm trying to make is that they even say that even when you have a business, you should also have an exit plan. And so if you're a business owner, maybe you want to look at possibly looking at how you could possibly sell that business for a profit, maybe to get into something new, because you definitely had the card of changes coming up. So you could also be looking at an investment account, putting some resources into that. I could help. I don't have that license yet. I will probably. I ain't even gonna put a time on it because then I ain't gonna do it when I say I'm gonna do it. But if you need some help looking for stuff that pertains to you, it doesn't really matter. I like helping people regardless of whether or not it benefits me. But you can email me at ayafa@queendaddysaturn.com and I can help point you to where you need to be pointed to. I know a lot of people and I can point you in the right direction for you. So Pansy wanted to come out for that one. So for your what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated into your life, you got the mandrake, which is number 45, but the mandrake is sensuality. And mandrake is one of the roots that actually looks like a human. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that the sound can be deadly. So I'm curious to see what this reads for, but it looks like it has the glyphs for Neptune and Venus. And with this retirement card coming up, it definitely makes me think of maybe you're supposed, and this is genderless. I'm not reading to any specific gender, but what it's making me think of is that you're ready to step into a softer or easier life. And that's what you probably need to heal whatever it is that's preventing you from doing that, or whatever's making you have to feel like you have to be hard and a little bit ruthless. So that's ready to be acknowledged. Yeah. And so no, let's go ahead and read from the book on that one. Mandrake number 45, which reduces to a 9, that has to do with graduations and endings. So yeah, you're ready to graduate from some form of a 9 mindset in order to step into what's new. All right, Mandrake in its lighter energetics. It's about sensuality, discovering new forms of intimacy. Oh, okay. Finding the inner beloved. I hate that word. And it's probably because of the movie. Expression of healthy sexuality and abundance. Reverse could be blocked sensuality, shame around sexuality, creative energy misdirected, or unchanneled desire. So I'm heavy on the creative energy, because the sacral chakra, this is definitely sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is not only about sexy time, but it's also about your creations as a whole. Oh, I never know this. All right, so let's read it. Known as Satan's apple, devil's apple, and man's root. Never knew that. Mandrake is one of the most famous mystical aphrodisiac plants. I never knew that. In ancient times, the dried root was soaked in wine and enjoyed as a love potion. Wow. And was believed to be a cure for infertility in women. Hmm. Native to the Mediterranean, the roots of this unusual plant look identical to a little human, also called love apples. In the Old Testament of the Bible, the golden fruit, yellow fruit of the mandrake can cause intoxicating sexual desire. Oh, wow. According to the Kabbalah, mandrake was the symbol for becoming one, and the text alludes to it being used in secret mystical rites in ancient Israel, in ancient Egypt. Mandrake fruit and wine were used as love offerings during courtship and consumed as aphrodisiacs. Mandrake is the embodiment of Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of love and fertility. Mandrake was also used in ancient Greece as a love potion and for ceremonial love rituals. Like in ancient Egypt, the aphrodisiac root was associated with the goddess of love. Aphrodite, medicinally, it was used. I've read that as a run-on sentence, my bad. Medicinally, it was used as a narcotic to relieve anxiety, depression, insomnia, pain, colic, stomach ulcers, and constipation. This is astounding. I never knew this about mandrake, and I got some. Although Mandrake has a strong masculine signature, its nature is very much like those of Venus and Neptune, which are definitely perceived to be, like feminine planets. Mandrake powerfully shifts the body into a higher state of love bliss under the influence of Neptune, as well as Venus's lusty and sensual energy. So, the guidance of this says Mandrake is here to ask you to find new forms of intimacy. Ask yourself what inspires bliss, joy, and passion in my life. Notice how you relax into flow and more easily attract what you need and desire when you focus on energy givers such as joy. Mandrake is here to assist you in liberating unchanneled creativity and sensuality, releasing energy from the sacral center and activating your pleasure centers to experience a higher form of love. Don't allow unworthiness, fear of rejection, and inhibition of pleasure to stop you from experiencing higher love. Focus on giving your gifts to the world with overwhelming passion and opening up to receive fully and fearlessly. I shaded that. That's dope. And so, your next one, the magic of flowers. How can I more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? I'm learning to water down this because these get long sometimes. So, I'm gonna just give you what sticks out from this. Um, excuse me. It's a fairy on here. Did I show you this card? It's like a fairy on here, and she looks like she's contemplating something. Try to hold it still for you. And she has purple pansies. Purple speaks to me about the crown chakra personally. And her fairy wings are, ethereal, but she looks like she's contemplating something. So let's see what that speaks to. And that's on page 203, which is a change, which is reduces to a 5, which is change. So let's see what Pansy is talking about. So yes, I was correct. Ha ha ha. All right. So Pansy, the key word is contemplate. And so Pansy's magical specialties are calming, stress relief, clarity, gentleness, ideas, love divination, purity, and self expressions. And it appears you could benefit from taking a step back and thinking things over before taking action. Or drawing this card could simply be an indication that your spirit desires some time of contemplation, perhaps a form of meditation, study, or solitary walk or retreat. And so, what comes to mind with that is that spirit wants you to contemplate and marvel over your works. Okay. This is a good one. Maybe it's time to marvel over your works and finally give yourself a pat on the back for what it is you have accomplished. And maybe because some endings can be not so great. Like for myself, for example, I'll throw myself as an example out there. I took was it half a year off after I had my last child, and so my nail business did not open back up, or I didn't get all of my clients to come back like I thought I would. And so it became a bittersweet thing, but it allowed me to actually take on another person and start teaching them. And then I realized, okay, maybe it's time for retirement. That's when I started looking at how long I had been doing this thing and how much I had really done. I worked at prestigious spas. I have branched out on my own. I have taught classes in schools and some more stuff. And so, it just allowed me to marvel over my works and realize how much I've accomplished. I even used to be a bridal makeup artist. I stepped back from doing makeup during COVID, but I had a lot of fun with those, doing weddings at the Gaylord, the Salamander Resort and Spa, like really prestigious weddings. I want to even say I did the wedding for the daughter of the inventor of the Boppy, which is a baby product. So if you know, you know. So, just marveling and giving yourself a pat on the back, and not all endings have to be sad. So that's what comes to mind. So, some extra insight that you might want to take. It could be to write in your journal in order to gain clarity on your thoughts and feelings. Of course, mull things over before taking action. Do research before making a decision. This definitely makes me think about this investments and retirement thing. Meditate, take a walk, go on a solitary retreat. Yeah, definitely do a retreat. Retreats are dope. And investigate new standpoints and ideas. You might read a self help book, or attend a spiritual talk, or watch a documentary that resonates. And don't take action out of worry or rushing. And so, yeah, that feels complete to me. And the way you can work with pansy in your garden or home, you can spend time with pansy. You could take homeopathic flower essence. You could do baths. Like I'm gonna release the ritual, hopefully Friday, so you can prepare for the full moon. And then you can add these different things for, personalize the ritual more. Everything that I give is like a blanket thing, or a starter thing. So you could work with that. You could work with a photo of a pansy, and you can meditate with it to help to bring forth this energy if you feel like it. So I hope that resonates. Please let me know in the comments. And I'll see you back the next time. This is for the Spades Collective, the spread that we already went over, but I will be rereading the questions as we go. And just so you know, I use the pop out method, and Spirit pops out cards. And so we tend to read from those. And then I give you whatever extra insights I feel coming through. So the first question is, what truth or insight is this Libra full moon illuminating for the Spades Collective right now? Ooh, excuse me. I need a sip of something. I feel like I'm flipped that over for whatever reason. Thank you so much for the clarity you've already given. I can start reading what flips up in the deck too. So we want me taken forever. That's what I'm gonna do. You got the Ten of Clubs, which is the royal teacher. Hmm. Okay. It's also the card of podcasting and success in communication. Tens definitely have to deal with larger scales of people, so that's being illuminated for the Spades Collective. Of course, you're going to figure out how this all hits for you on an individual level. What values need to be reviewed or reassessed to restore or maintain harmony in my life? Huh. You got the Eight of Spades, and she's going to listen to this. I talk to an Eight of Spades almost daily now, and we actually met through Aquarius's cardology class, which is funny. I pulled that because you decided to flip up. I didn't get any other flip ups with any other piles, so that's why I'm like, they must want me to. So what values need to be reviewed or reassessed? And that is actually Jesus. That's oof, 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 oof. Okay, 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 okay. All right. So the Eight of Spades is actually my card of the year. It's giving me the business this week, okay? It's actually my card of the year. It is one of my karma cards. And it's actually tap dancing. Oh, it's my card of the week, card of the year, card. It's another card. It's my transformation card. It's some card of this week for me, but it is tap dancing on my last nerve this week. But it's all about willpower, and it's definitely about victory. Um it's also the card of working out, so you might need to start working out because you wouldn't be the first collective told to start getting in motion. Nobody else got this card. They got the card of walking, but you probably need to incorporate some exercise in there because I know that was a big thing for me last year where it was sitting in the grand solar spreads for me. It's about having willpower. It's about, willpower is all about following through, seeing things to the end, and not giving up just because stuff gets tough. So, because it's talking about harmony, it's also one of the cards of bullying. So, maybe look at if you're bullying anybody, if somebody is bullying you, and let's get that in order. And I'm not just talking about school kid bullying and over dramatized bullying. There's ways to bully people without, it being so apparent. And the way I read these bigger ones is if a pile pops up, I take whatever's on top. Thank you so much. And so the next question is, what karmic cycle or relationship pattern is ready to be released during this full moon? Oh, and you got the workaholic for that one, the Ten of Spades, which also talks about breakthroughs leading to freedom and success. So I was calling for a balance of something. And it's funny, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm not jumping ahead because technically this is question 4 where I use the Oracle deck, but I am wanting to read all of the playing cards that come out because I read from the books with the Oracle decks after I get whatever insight I'm going to be getting. Oh God, they're showing titties again. Probably trying to show y'all how beautiful these things are, but I don't want YouTube to flag me. But these are beautiful. Kava Kava community. You got that card. It's pretty. Take my word for it. So releasing workaholism if you can, finding a balance, but I already feel like I know what this is going to say because Kava Kava, that card is about community. You got 2 other community cards. Tens are about community. They're about whole groups of people, big groups of people. So yeah, it's ready to be released. And then I don't want to jump ahead. All right, there we go. Tuberose. That's so beautiful. All right, so I'll show you that when we get there. So jumping ahead to where should I focus my resources, time, money, and energy to make wiser investments for my future? You got the Jack of Spades, which is the card of spiritual initiations and new lifestyle. So it's definitely wanting you to give up maybe taking on all the work for yourself, um, and learning to live. And you wouldn't be the first ones to get the cards or have the cards saying to you their spirit wants you to be able to take more ease. um it's about creativity, beginnings of a new lifestyle. You might be like, oh yeah, Kanye West through the fire just came through my mind. You might be going through it a little bit, but it's an initiation, whatever you're going through, to make sure you're ready for the next levels, or to make sure that you've learned whatever lesson it is you need to learn. So I hope that makes sense. So what wound or past experience is surfacing to be acknowledged, healed, and or integrated into your being right now? And you got Kava Kava, which is about community. And it could be your past hurts with community. It could be some past life stuff that you don't know about, that's coming up, which prevents you from working with community and learning how to, what's coming to mind? What is that word? Knowing how to delegate instead of taking on too much work for yourself. Excuse me. Energy coming through. And so, but spirit is wanting you to do that. So let's read what this says. And it's about community. In the light, it's about celebration, kinship with tribe, community, friendship, union, finding your chosen family. So you may have some spirit family trying to come through, some of your soul family coming through or coming in your life. In its shadow, it's about separation, seriousness, and not wanting to connect with others, and loneliness. It's planetary embodiments of Pluto and the moon. And so Kava in Tongan means bitter, and in Hawaiian, it's called awa. Legend has it that Kava was brought over to the islands by the gods Cain and Kanaloa from their ancestral Polynesia. Kava was known as the drink of the gods and honored across the Pacific Islands. Kava is believed to have first originated in northern Vanuatu thousands of years ago. Considering the plant lacks seeds or a means of to self-propagate, that's interesting. It is believed that it was tended to by the gods until the first indigenous people arrived. Kava tea was regarded as a blessing and poured onto shrines, then later drank by the kahuna or spiritual leader of the ceremony. It was considered holy and only given to those of high rank, but eventually it became more widely accessible, and to this day, it is drunk in ceremony to bring the community together. Sometimes called the intoxicating pepper, the effects of kava are a curious combination of deep relaxation alongside stimulation to the central nervous system. Kava is relaxing to muscles and dampens pain while increasing the flow of thoughts. Kava can greatly increase mental clarity, ease depression, confusion, and sorrow, and sharpen intuition. Kava directly affects the limbic system, the control center of our emotions, just as the moon does. Plutonian herbs like kava cause deep transformation in our emotional mind, and the energy of Pluto is that of regeneration, allowing us to decompress from accumulated emotions through the volcanic power of catharsis. So the guidance is that Kava's energy moves through our nervous system like a butterfly, relaxing, widening, and assisting us in surrendering, although you might be amid an important moment in your life. Remember that you don't have to do it alone. When you widen your circles intentionally, you receive support from the universe and others to join you on your path. To fully draw upon butterfly's medicine. It gently invites us to observe the position in the community in this moment. You are a protector, creator, connector, or visionary. Oh no, it asks, are you one of those? And I'm gonna just say yeah. And how does that correlate to this moment in your life alongside your personal evolution? Egg, caterpillar, cocoon, or butterfly? Oftentimes, finding your purpose within your community and parallels within your inner journey can provide great relief and meaning. Oof, that was a mouthful. But yeah, it said basically the spirit saying I said what I said. Um, so this next one is, how can I more deeply honor or show gratitude for what already exists in my life before seeking more? And you got tuberose. I'm not too familiar with that, but again, this is actually one with a couple in it. Or I'm assuming it's a couple because he is kissing her on the forehead. But what comes to mind is knowing that you are loved by source, not saying source is a man or a woman, but knowing you are loved by source, and to embody that and know that you are protected. That's what comes to mind. But let's read from the book. Tuberose. Where you at, girl? Tuberose. 227. Hey, go watch that. That was about community. It was 227, right? Community. That was about community building. 227. Tuberose. This actually has to do with romance. Okay. So tuberose's magical specialties are intuition, peace, protection, purification, sensuality, and wealth. Like the sweetly mesmerizing aroma that permeates any area where otherworldly tuberose blossom happens to dwell, romance is in the air. This card signifies a romantic relationship on the horizon, or an existing one that is about to blossom forth into a beautiful new phase. It also might be a message about opening your heart to the romance of life in general, reveling in the sensual pleasures of the moment, and treating yourself like the precious divine child that you are. So, yeah, what comes to mind is that maybe you're keeping yourself too busy, or you're too busy to recognize that hell, somebody might be interested in you, or that there are people that you can trust around you that you can actually depend on and receive more love and give more love to. Um, yeah, it's really just telling you to, because it's about cultivating gratitude. You have to stop and smell the roses. Hi, tuberose. Stop and smell the roses. Notice what's all around you. And so, what I like about this deck is that it gives you ideas and messages. So, we'll skip right to that. Um, they say, there is a mutual romantic attraction between you and the object of your inquiry. A romantic relationship is about to deepen or move into a beautiful new phase. A romantic relationship is on the horizon. It's important for you to be romantic with yourself right now. For example, you might take aromatherapeutic baths, get yourself flowers, light candles, or dance sensually in your living room or around your house. I don't just have to be your living room. Remember that life is romantic in and of itself, and that romance is your birthright. As such, stop looking to any person, place, or situation to provide your soul romantic nourishment, and embrace the romance that is within and around you. Oh, yeah. So, something I talk to my friends about often is that, or something that I had to realize over the years, especially, is to stop depending on one person to fulfill all of your needs. That is what community is about. Like, well, I don't even want to say that, but like, I don't talk to my partner about all the things. I know some of the stuff, like my spiritual stuff, he doesn't necessarily understand, but I have plenty of people around me that do understand my spirituality that I can go to. So, like designating, so not just designating jobs and stuff, but designating different parts of your life to the different people who fit in that. If I hope that makes sense the way I said it. um it says, if you're placing conditions on another person, let go of control and reclaim your authentic grounded power. Open up to the present, be true to your heart, and let the future be what it will. Choose to be your own partner and to love yourself with the fervor that you have been desiring to receive from others. This is the soil in which the most beautiful romantic experiences grow. And so it advises that you can spend time with tuberose. You can bring it into your home or your garden. You can inhale the scent or take the homeopathic flower essence or remedy. You can even get a picture of tuberose and meditate with it. That's always an option as well. So I think I made the message abundantly clear. I hope I did. And if you're looking for any more insight, readings are open and available. Not this yet. I'm gonna do it. I promise I'm gonna do it. But I'm getting it together. So I hope this resonated with you. Please let me know. Like, share, repost if you can. Can you do that? Yeah. So like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.